Okay, welcome back everyone. Grabe, ang tagal na tayo hindi nakita dito sa ating Quadcom -1. At alam mo,
Payanin natin 'to.
para sa akin grabe, kakaumpisa pa lang ng July. Grabe, ang dami na nangyari. July 1 pa lang, ang dami na. So anong take natin dito guys? I'm sure a lot of the viewers are wondering sa mga issues, especially impeachment's happening na. And then all the other issues surrounding the trial and of course the camp of the Dutertes. Anong natin dito? Anong gusto niyo unang pag-usapan?
Pugante muna,
Oo,
Pugante edition.
yung sa minority.
Pero ano ba yun? Ngayon, sa minority kasi, ilan na lang ba sila natira sa minority to begin with?
Dalawa na yung dalawa na yung
Two down.
wala. Si Jinggoy is nasa kulungan ngayon, si Senator Bato nagtatago. Ano daw BJMP Bato, Jinggoy, Marcoleta next. So, sino yung P? Baka daw Padilla yung next. Pero ang pangatlo, si Senator Marcoleta. So, pangatlo na siya ng minority na posibleng mawala para sa impeachment trial.
Pero ang sinasabi kasi ni Robin Hood Padilla na hindi naman daw siya nag-obstruct in terms of the arrest of Bato. Kasi kung obstruction of justice daw, bakit daw siya naglalakad?
Yan din palusot ko sa nanay ko nung bata ako Nung tumatakas ako ng bahay. Hoy, tumatakas ka. Hindi, nay, nakita niyo naglalakad lang ako. Naglalakad lang ako papunta sa sa labas ng bahay.
Hindi ko alam sa legal skills niya, but pwede siyang maging pilosopo. Medyo, in fairness kay Robin Hood, for the first time, agree ako sa legal analysis niya. Sabi niya kahapon, di ba inimbita natin si Putin ng Russia?
Yes.
So kung dumating siya dito, iti-turn over rin ba sa ICC? That was a good point. I actually agree with him.
You support him on that.
I support him with a shoutout kay Senator the Robin Hood. We're on the same board kasi that guy is wanted by ICC too,
Yes.
just as much as Digong. So medyo double standard yan if we can only hand over our own tatay Digong but not the tatay of the Russians.
Pwede ba yan citizens arrest?
Yun lang.
Kung gusto talaga ni Senator Robin, sila na lang mag-aresto kay Putin.
Pero kung na-drop siya ng nuclear bomb, hindi na natin problema yan. Sana sa
damay tayo.
Yun ang problema, damay-damay pag nag-nuke tayo ng Russia. Yun ang problema. I'm just being honest, right? Baka i-nuke tayo ng Russia kung we
Yes.
turn over Putin. Ganon kasimple lang.
Well, to begin with, I don't think Putin's gonna show up here without that agreement
no.
prior. Di ba kahit yung sa Africa, ginawa niya yun. Sinabi niya, kung may gagawin yan, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng kahit na anong usapan. Tapos hindi lang yun, hindi din tayo makakapaggawa ng any kind of trade and I will not go to your country. Ganun lang kasimple. So I think that will happen and well, ako to be honest, ako lang if that means na magkakaroon ng double standard, but why would I put myself in that situation as president? I wouldn't invite him to come over.
Ang problema kasi, again, I'm not defending this decision. I was very critical of that. Is because ASEAN chair si President Marcos. So he said that in behalf of ASEAN, as a chairman of ASEAN. Hindi ito prerogative niya as Philippine president per se. But nevertheless, of course, papogi yan kay Putin. It's normalizing his status. It's removing the stigma na ICC wanted siya for alleged mass atrocities sa Ukraine. Kaya I felt bad with my Ukrainian friends, di ba? Na parang, ano ba naman, ginaganon lang. But yeah, you're right. I don't think he's gonna come over. But symbolically, it matters a lot. And technically correct si Robin Hood. That's my... Ang point ko lang dito is, in fairness, once in a while, swak na swak si, Pasok.
Matutuwa si Robin Hood niyan pag marinig niya that
Tag
Richard
natin.
Haydarian agrees with him.
Shout out naman.
Kasi iniisip ni Robin Hood na lagi mo na lang kinukontra na may personal ka sa kanya
Wala. Beshi naman kami. Baguio boy naman kami pareho.
Yun.
No, but going back to this, what do you guys think about the whole Marcoleta affair? So, non-bailable case ito. So, dapat automatically game over na, except some people are wondering if the courts, dun sa issuance of warrant of arrest, if Sandigan Bayan, kasi people have to remember, may may downstream, may upstream. Upstream pa lang yung ombudsman, pero may downstream pa yan all the way to the Sandigan Bayan sa mahaba-habang usapan yan. And last time I checked, I think Marcoleta, the case before din nung congressman siya, di ba? I think GMA Network just had a report on this, my former network. So itong Marcoleta situation, guys, were you surprised na non-bailable yung final sa kanya? But obviously, the picture is more complicated kasi yung upstream yung ombudsman all the way to Sandigan Bayan, mahaba-habang usapan yan. But Marcoleta was kind of seen as untouchable, di ba? Kasi he's supported by by arguably the most organized religious organization in the country.
Oo, yung sa case ni Marcoleta, very clear naman in-explain na nung mga lawyers, diba, na sarili niyang self-inflicted damage yung kanyang ginawa sa pag-amin nung pagtanggap ng mga regalo na yon na hindi naman nilagay sa SOSE, so hindi siya campaign funds. Pero napaalala lang sa atin, okay, this past few days, na kung merong silang tinatawag na bendalo, meron tayo sa bansa na above the law. Diba? See, who else can do that? Who else can park a bus at the middle of EDSA tapos hindi ka agad-agad maaalis ng authorities? Who else na pag merong warrant of arrest, hindi basta-basta, minsan, di ba, hindi pa sure kung sino ba aaresto. So, who else Parang it reminds us na how can an organization, and as much as I respect, of course, yung mga kapatid natin dyan, pero it shows na the level of power that they have in the country right now is talagang grabe na kaya nilang gawin yon with a certain level of impunity.
But do they have that much power? Because some people are being questioned. Baka eto na yan, they took their big swing and maybe they're not as powerful as we thought. What do you guys think?
Ako, I've always said this sa mga vlogs ko. Powerful sila as a kingmaker, pero once na sila na yung nag-aim to grab the power for themselves, doon na medyo Kasi as a kingmaker, parang hinahayaan sila. Sige, we follow, sundin lang natin kung ano yung gusto nila, kung anong-ano. Pero pag sila na yung... Kasi Marcoleta is being talked about as a possible VP. Ang iniisip ng iba, they are trying to take the power para sa sarili nila. Iba ng usapan yon. Yung mga ibang maaaring hindi ka kinakalaban before, mas matapang ng haharapin ka ngayon at baka mas mahirapan sila pag ganun nga yung nangyari.
Ako, I want to talk about two things here. No? Number one, yung pagiging kingmaker. Parang window dressing yan In reality, I don't think they have as much power as people believe they do.
Hype siya.
Oh, it's all hype, yeah. Kasi pag tinignan mo, how many times do they pipili sila, Pero yung pinipili nila...
Sure win na.
Oo, sure win na yun Sige, sabihin na, kami yan, Di ba, may kilala tayong ganun They take the credit kahit na mawala sa kanila. But in fairness to them, magaling. Kasi may mga naniniwala that they have that kind of clout. Not saying na wala. Meron pa rin silang voting block na malaki-laki, substantial. But not to the point where it's the kingmaker, the absolute. Remember, Erab Estrada was not supported by INC, surprisingly. Diba? Pero, nanalo. May mga ganon. So, may mga anomalies yan. And you will see that in reality, they just follow the trend. Magaling sila mag-follow no, number one. Number two, dito sa idea that above the law, tama si Mark dito Yun ang problema natin kasi with mga... Sorry marami na nagsasabi nga na kulto sila with the way they move, with the way they act, unfortunately. Naawa ko sa mga miyembro because sa mga miyembro, mga sunod-sunuran na lang. Kasi nga, tingin nila, yun ang utos sa kanila na pag sinabi ng liderato ng INC na ito ang gagawin ng lahat. But now, nakikita natin na dumadami na rin ang mga miyembro nila na nag-iisip na para sa kanilang sarili, which is good. Now, pagdating dito sa nangyaring rally na ginawa nila, dito mo nakita, they couldn't muster the 1 million to topple the government. Tapos nakita mo yung mga calls, desperate calls of these senators at saka isang vlogger. Excuse me, like Ronald would say, online seller na si Alan Peter Cayetano. So meron kang online seller at mga senador na pumunta doon na sinusubukan na pabagsakin ng gobyerno. Pumunta na kayo dito, kahit Kristiyano, KOJC. Tara, magsama-sama tayo laban sa korupsyon. Magsasama kami dyan. Anong pinaglalaban nyo? Hindi korupsyon, pinaglalaban nyo isang tao, si Marcoleta. And ito lang masasabi ko tungkol sa issue with Marcoleta, Richard, that you were saying, Marcoleta is in a catch-22. Pagdating sa issue, sabihin niya, I did not submit to my SOSEC because it wasn't a campaign fund. It wasn't a campaign donation. It was a private donation. Okay. Or is he going to admit, hindi. Pagdating sa plunder case, actually, it was a campaign donation outside of the campaign period, pero I really used it for a campaign. O baka makalusot siya sa plunder. Right. Kasi I'm saying I don't think mananalo yung plunder case niya. Kung bumaliktad siya o ipinakita niya, hindi ginamit ko naman to sa kampanya, hindi ko lang talaga na-declare. Okay. Now you have a campaign violation. Remember, he won the COMELEC issue not because of the technicality of campaign period. He won because nakalagay doon hindi na criminal offense ang hindi pagdedeklara sa SOSE. Yun lang yun. Kaya nga tuwan-tuwa si George Garcia, nakangiti siya na sinabi niya we found a loophole. It's not a campaign, it's not a criminal offense pag hindi ka naglagay ng contributions mo. Kaya wala kami magagawa. Ang pwede, fine lang of up to about 10,000 pesos, I think. That's about it. Pero repeat violations, pwedeng ma-disqualify. I think gagamitin nila yon in defense by showing that I did spend the money on campaign contributions, not for any other purpose. It was literal contribution. And I made a mistake na hindi ko sinubmit sa aking SOSE.
Ako kasi mas fundamental ang issue ko dito dahil hindi nagbabayad ng buwis yung mga religious organization dahil meron tayong separation of church and state, di ba? Parang basic na idea dyan is, kayo, bahala kayo sa spiritual health ng mga tao. Walang pakiang gobyerno dyan, di ba? But at the same time, yung church din, dapat hiwalay siya sa mga affairs of the state, di ba? So for me, parang you're having it both ways. If at the same time, di ba, wala kang binabayaran na buwis, yung may separation. But at the same time, you're basically a political actor. Di ba?
You're like a
So
political
kung ganun, dapat they should be treated like any other normal organization. No longer just as a religious. So yun yung concern. And alam natin for a long time, yung Catholic Church also came under criticism for that.
I was gonna say.
Di ba? So we're just saying, di ba? I think we have to go back to these fundamental constitutional issues na kung meron tayong separation of church and state, meron din dapat may mga, at least, di ba, certain observance of that separation, which hindi na natin nakikita ngayon. I mean, over the past 2 years, how many times nakita natin certain religious organizations openly coming out in favor of a certain political outcome? In short, yung trial ni Sara Duterte, not once, not twice, di ba? And then now, meron ka pang situation ni Marcoleta, among other things. So, for me, we have to have a serious discussion over that, a constitutional discussion. Kasi sa saligang batas natin yung separation of church and state.
Richard, I'm gonna counter that lang. Para sa akin naman kasi, any organization, religious or non-religious, has the right to be able to express their opinion. Right? May right to rally din naman yan May right to protest no matter what. So don't you think that falls under that? Na kahit sabihin nating religious organizations sila, they do have a right to voice their indignation. Much like the Catholic Church has the right to voice their indignation. Kasi once na sinabi mo, hindi pwede magsalita ang iglesia because of the religious group, then Catholic priests should not be able to do that with homilies either, di ba? So I think it cuts both ways So yun ang ingatan natin dito. But not to say that the INC is medyo crossing the border na. Umaabot na sa punto nga na I think they're already crossing the line between political party and religious organization. Pagdating sa appointments within the government, ang daming mga political appointees na dahil INC sila. Not necessarily for qualification. If both of us are qualified, if you're INC, ikaw actually, even if you're less qualified than me, kung INC ka, tapos sinabi na yung mga nag-a-appoint, okay, yung mga iba't mga politiko dyan, meron kang padrino, sponsor, ikaw makakakuha ng posisyon. We know that for a fact na ang daming INC sa loob ng kapulisan, sa military.
Si General Torre, INC na pala siya.
Perfect. INC dati
Hindi, parang baliktad, hindi ba?
Wala na ngayon.
Okay.
Tinanggal na.
Yeah.
Remember, tinanggal siya dahil doon sa KOJC apparently and or another issue. Yeah. Kaya nga, nag-usap kami ni Ronald, sabi nga, saludo kay General Torre dahil, wow, for you to turn your back on that, medyo ang bigat ng pressure na ginagawa. Di ba? Yun So, yun yung para sa akin.
Ako, I'm sure Mark has his perspective. Hindi siya question of either or Obviously, the church can say, wag kayong bumoto ng mamamatay tao, kurakot, right? So, hindi mo naman pwede cleanly cut out. It's a question of threshold. At some point, masasabi mo na nakikialam na sa politika ang isang religious organization. And I think that's where we can have a healthy debate. Because wala yatang block voting ang Catholic Church. Yeah. Last time I checked, I don't go to the church on Sunday and see, etong mga lista na bobotohin nyo, and there's an implied sanction or, diba, may implication if you don't follow the script, diba? I don't see the Catholic Church openly, as you mentioned, pushing for certain appointments or openly saying if this doesn't happen, we will block EDSA. Or so I think it's not a question of dapat walang masabi at all. It's a question of how far yung threshold yung issue dito. Kaya sabi ko, it's a healthy debate we can have constitutionally, di ba? So yun ang point ko. So I completely agree with you. Hindi unique sa INC itong mga political statements or politically tinged statements and actions, but it's a question of threshold. Yung threshold for me is something we can debate about healthily. Ikaw, Mark, what do you think about it?
May gusto din ako sabihin Nung nag-start yung unang araw na nagulat tayo lahat, di ba? bigla silang humarang sa EDSA tsaka we were talking about doon sa live ko is ito na ba magsisimula yung I was calling it Marcos versus Manalo. Mag-all out war na ba ang admin at ang INC?
M&M.
Oo, yun ang
Hindi
tanong eh.
Duterte, Manalo.
Hindi, kasi that's a separate
Yes.
Si Marcoleta ang
Yes.
pinag-uusapan dito eh. Kumaga senador namin yan eh. Tapos ganyan gagawin nyo sa pananaw nila, di ba? So I was starting to talk about that, kung ano yung epekto nun pagdating kay BBM, ano yung posibleng epekto nun pagdating sa simbahan, and the whole day I was starting to see kung ano yung mga posibleng iaatake sa INC kung sakaling matuloy yung gera na yon. Eh, lahat ng mga past na mga allegations sa kanila, yung mga issues, yung mga iba-ibang mga issue na yung posibleng ikaso. So, yun ang napapaisip ako kung doon ba pupunta yung gera na yan between the admin and this church. Pero yun nga, after the second day, wala na. Mukhang hindi din natuloy yung inaasahan natin na
Inaasahan talaga?
Hindi, I mean, I was already expecting, kasi nagagalit na sila hinarangan na nila yung EDSA at that point eh. So, I really thought na talagang all-out war na. And yung kanina sinabi mo yung strength ng INC, I think aside from dun sa national na mahirap ngang i-measure, yung power nila is local eh.
Barangay level.
I mean even mayor level. Kasi kung ang lamang ng isang mayor or isang konsehal
1,000 lang.
1,000 lang, 5,000 lang. Minsan yun yung ramdam mo yung bulk nung INC sa isang lugar. So, kung sakaling maglaban sila, yun yung alas ng INC laban sa Marcos admin, yung the influence they have over the local leaders natin all throughout the country. Yeah. So, yun yung kaso hindi natuloy. So, yan.
I want to add yung interesting na dynamics sa INC at saka sa gobyerno, ito yun eh. INC flexed. Pinakita nila na, ginagalaw mo yung tao namin. Ngayon kabangga mo, kami na. Yeah. It was a direct challenge to the government. Yun yung interesting doon, na first time nakita mo na directly na hinamon na nila. Kasi yung ginawa lang rally last year, was it last year? Yung sa Quirino? Dami. Pero it wasn't the direct threat eh. It wasn't a direct challenge. It was a let's all...
Unity.
Unity. Call for peace. Pero ito was hindi eh. Nilalabanan nyo. Sinabi mismo. What I thought was interesting was the response of the government. I liked what the government did. Pinakita ng gobyerno natin na hindi. Walang religious group na pwedeng magdikta sa gobyerno at subukan labanan ang konstitusyon ng ating saligang batas. Kasi yung ginagawa nila was a direct affront to the actual constitution. So, ang nakakatakot doon, kung bumigay yung administrasyon at sinabing, sige, pwede kayo mag-rally and whatever you want, hayaan namin kayo, wala kami magagawa. Then nagmukhang lame duck ang gobyerno. So, by the government actually enforcing the law, the local government saying, no, we can't give you any more permits, at nakita nung INC na, teka, nobody else was joining. We brought in our 10 to 20,000 people. Wala na kaming mahatak eh. Yun na lang kaya namin mahatak even within our own ranks. At walang sumusunod. Amy Marcos made a call. Online seller Cayetano made a call. Chavit Singson, my God of all people, made a call. Sumama na kayo.
Walang general na bumabaliktad.
Wala. Walang AFP, walang nothing. Everyone was silent to the calls. Doon nakita ng INC na, teka. Sinabi natin, gagawin natin to hanggang magdamag kahit ilang araw, ilang linggo. 3 days later, suko na kami. Na-realize namin, wala. This is not gonna go anywhere. And the admin, the government was not gonna cower to that pressure.
Deadma lang si BBM.
On top of Deadma, Marka, umalis pa si BBM, pumuntang Canada. In the middle of it.
That was an important meeting in fairness with Canada. But going back to this, unang-una, people power yung iba. Pero last time I checked, yung people powers against a Korakot president back in 1986 and 2001, hindi in favor of someone allegedly corrupt. So medyo I found that quite interesting. And this is where I think Mark also knows saan galing tong intel na ito, na apparently, rogue operation daw ni Boying Ramulya itong kay Marcoleta. Apparently. In a way na parang there was an understanding na this will not escalate. Because the president, I think, was very clear he didn't want the situation to escalate, no? But I think Boying Remulla made the call na no, they have to push ahead with this. Oh, bakit ka kinakabahan? We're not gonna say saan galing yan or something like that. But at the same time, for me, bakit mo masabi, Rogue, di ba independent naman yung ombudsman, di ba? So what are we looking at here? Are we looking at a situation where the ombudsman is supposed to follow the president? Or the issue here is that the ombudsman is not doing this for the ombudsman, but doing it for the Remullas? You know what I'm saying? Like there's some sort of discussion around that issue. But for me, this was quite still surprising na non-bailable yung final.
It's plunder. It is non-bailable. And the fact is, he did get 75 million. Alam mo, if he didn't admit, like Mark said, kung hindi niya inamin, nakatanggap ako ng 75 million at may utang na loob ako sa kanila, sinabi mismo nila sa akin na, hindi, bibigay namin niya sa'yo, huwag mo nang isipin na bayaran yan kasi utang na loob na lang yan. So, sinabi niya sa akin, utang na loob ko sa kanila yan.
We can play the video over this. Para people watch it for themselves. Yeah, pakilagay mo lang sa edit. Oh, para makita ng tao. We don't need to even say it. Andyan na eh.
Para kayo magsabi kung tingin nyo tama o mali.
Nelson, alam mo, mga kaibigan ko, nagbigay sa akin talaga. Alam mo, pakiusap lang nila. Isa lang. Tanggapin mo ang tulong namin sa'yo.
Okay.
Congressman ako noon, Kong. Kami po ay naniniwala na karapat dapat kang makarating sa Senado. Tanggapin mo ang lagang to. Marami sila. Isa lang ang kanilang pakiusap sa akin.
Ano po yun?
Ay sana wag mo na kaming i-disclose ang identity. Ngayon, kapag ka naglagay ako ng figure sa contribution, mapipilitan akong mag-disclose ng pangalan nila. Alam mo kung bakit? Merong kaakibat na kung tawagin ay deed of acceptance of donation. Paano yun kako? Contribution to eh. Hindi, sabi niya, binigay ko nga sa'yo, contribution, pero utang na loob mo sa akin yan. Ituring mo na lang na utang, sabi niya, di ba?
Loan.
Hindi, utang lang. Basta utang na hindi babaya. Utang na loob eh. Ngayon, dahil sa hindi ko pwedeng isiwalat ang kanilang identity, kaya sinabi ko zero in contribution. Na mapipilitan ako ngayon na gawing zero yun. Dahil kapag hindi ko nilagay, kapag nilagyan ko ng amount yun, mapipilitan ko isa-isa kayong i-disclose ko ang inyong identity. Ngayon, hindi naman po pwedeng hindi ko gastahin yung binigay nyo sa akin. Kasi yung iba, magkakakilala kayo eh. Halimbawa, ang nilagay kong gastos ko ron, 5 million, sabi ko. Nakukwenta nila eh. Ba, tinago ni Kong Dante. Tingnan mo nga naman ang buhay, ano. Nanalo na, kumita pa. Ayoko naman yun. Kasi pinagtiwala nila sa akin yun.
At saka
kailangan gastahin ko yun.
Kailangan talagang expense.
Hindi pwedeng hindi ko gastahin sapagkat binigay nila sa akin. Sapagkat gusto nilang manalo ako. May tiwala sila sa akin. Pinagtiwalaan nila ako. Meron bang batas, Nelson? Na magsasabi, pipilitin ko silang i-disclose? Bigyan mo ako ng batas. Hindi maghanap sila.
Okay, nakita naman nila. So, with your own eyes, narinig mo yung sinabi niya. But at the same time, sinabi naman nga ni Marcoleta na ginamit niya yan para sa kampanya. Kaya lang, ang defense nga niya that was before the campaign period, which is the wrong defense. Okay, that won't hold water. So, yung plunder was the right case. Ang nagtataka ako is paano naging plunder for Mike Defensor and the two others? Kasi hindi naman sila government officials at this time and they did not make any parang kumbaga hindi nakalagay as a private citizen. I don't know na may plunder. I can be charged with plunder pala. Well, I'm not a government official. Anyone can give me a gift or I can give a gift. So
Unless they did it when
hindi
they
naman
were in
nila alam na
official
hindi sila
position.
nilagay sa sose.
yeah,
Baka iniisip nila, binigay ko to, ilagay mo sa sose.
for the campaign.
For the
Oo.
campaign, oo.
Tapos hindi ni Marcoleta, ba't bibintangin mo ko? Binigay ko na eh. Sabi ko pang-kampanya nga yan eh. So tama si Mark.
To finish my point a while ago, I'm fine with everything except bakit bigla kay Joel Villanueva iba na yung inip ng hangin?
Hindi, wait, sorry. Sorry, Richard, bagitin ko lang I know we're talking about the ombudsman.
No, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
all out support tayo. Go hold the cup. But parang
Listen.
bigla kay Joel nung naging hindi na siya SP 13 na ba ngayon?
Akala ko ba rogue?
Oo nga, kala mo rogue. Hindi, pero ito lang, para sa akin.
Joe Rogan.
Kaya para sa akin, ganito, with Marcoleta. Ito masabi ko. Kay Marcoleta, kay Boying Remulla. Kay Ombudsman Remulla, ganito lang yun para sa akin. I think what he did with Marcoleta was correct. Kasi pag hindi siya nagsampa ng kaso, after that admission, then nakikita mo above the law si Marcoleta.
At wala nang credibility ang ombudsman.
Exactly. Inamin on live television tapos hindi mo
To be
sasampahan.
fair, I'm defending Boying on this point.
Well, yes. I mean, for me, it's we're not even defending the personalities. It's just the action. Ano yung kilos? Tama ba o mali? Like you said, si Robin may sinabi. Tama naman yung punto niya eh. Regardless of who it was.
Yeah, 100%.
Kung tama yung ginawa, you give credit. Ako naman dito, tama yung ginawa ni Boying. So, tanggalin mo yung pangalan na Boying Remulla, ombudsman. Tama yung ginawa ng ombudsman. Kasi hindi tulad ng dating ombudsman, harap-harapan nakikita mo may kalokohan. Biglang imbis na allowing the SALN to be shown. No. Kung sino magbanggit ng SALN, siya yung ipapakulong ko. The heck happened?
Yeah, but bro, you're not answering. So what about the Joel situation?
Okay.
My goodness, after all the expose last year, ilang beses at tas biglang si Joel, I am not sure na meron tayong sufficient. Come on.
Yeah, okay. Well, again, ako, this is where
Come on.
we have to admit the political realities.
Oh, that's like
Inaamin natin yon. Meron.
Rogue.
Pare. Well, okay. How sure are you na hindi masasampahan ng kaso?
No, but that's why at some point feeling ko lahat masasampahan talaga. Ang point ko lang is, you're not sending a very clear signal to the public of consistency. Na after all the expose, biglang, we're not sure about it. Pero yung isa, wala, galing sa bibig niya, wala tayong magagawa dyan. I'm just saying, from a communications point of view, we can debate the legal merits and all of that. I'm not sure we're sending a very good signal here. Or maybe I'm being overly critical here. Yun ang point ko.
No, sige, ako lang right now, I believe that there are, unfortunately, political moves na nangyayari behind the scenes. At that's
shocked.
always been the...
I'm shocked. I'm
shocked.
shocked.
Alam naman siguro ngayon, by now, ng sambayan ng Pilipino na maraming nangyayari behind the scenes. Ang nakikita natin is probably 10% of everything happening behind the scenes.
You keep on saying, hiwalay natin yung ganyan. Tapos, may politika naman talaga eh. Ayan tayo bro. Ayan tayo.
Hindi, sa akin si Ombudsman Boying Remulla is playing a dangerous game right now. Okay. Pero para sa akin, it is good. It is positive na kumpara mo dun sa huling ombudsman.
It's a realistic situation.
Maraming kasong pinafile. So at least doon improvement from the previous ombudsman. Pero even yun doon sa mga negatives niya and sa mga ano niya, para sa akin sa ating tatlo, sino ba sa atin dito ang bumoto kay Bongbong Marcos noong 2022?
BBM.
Wala naman eh.
BBM.
Wala sa ating tatlo.
Right.
We didn't vote for him in
BBM.
2022. So kumbaga, kung meron mang dapat sisihin na si Boying Remulla is ombudsman at ganyan yung ginagawa niya ngayon, yung mga bumoto kay BBM noong 2022 kasi yan yung nakuha nating ombudsman eh. 'Di ba? Good or bad, 'di ba? Hindi naman natin choice na kung sino yung naging presidente nung huli. We have to live with it all eh.
Yeah.
Kumaga, we're just taking the positive kay Ombudsman Boying. At least, yan, nakakulong yung mga sa DPWH, yung Diskaya nakakulong, one senator, one ano.
Pero Mark, dagdag ko lang to Richard's point, the cynicism na Richard is displaying right now. And understandably so.
Skepticism.
Skepticism. Sige,
Hindi ako
skepticism.
cynical, kaya nga may pake ako sa bayan.
Okay. Sige. Skepticism.
Healthy
Sige.
skepticism.
Sige, ito yun remember that some of the unusual moves na ginagawa ni Boying Remulla is yung biglang si Bonoan ay magiging state witness.
That's what I'm saying.
Suddenly, Bonoan is the least guilty ba? Pambihira naman.
Witness worthy na siya.
Yeah, pero di ba, like think about it, Bonoan, my God, being the DPWH secretary, every single congressman, senator, everyone, may cut yan.
Lahat dumaan sa kanya.
Lahat meron niyang maliliit na cut na pumupunta sa kanya. Wow!
Siya yung tall, boot tall.
Yeah, parang ganun.
Sa highway dadaan.
Sabi ko nga kay Ronald, kahit na nakakuha si Jinggoy, sabihin natin 100 million, eto si Bonoan, probably may 10 to 20 million Allegedly.
Di umano.
Yeah. Allegedly, 10 to 20 million per senator, per congressman. Mas malaki yun.
Ako sobrang
pala,
tutol ako
nag-advocate
diyan
sa
kay sobrang tutol ako diyan sa state witness kay Bunuan. Since last year, ako maingay ako about kay Bunuan. Hindi ko magets ba't yung ibang mga vloggers outside of us three,
Interesting.
hindi nila pinapansin si Bunuan eh. Hanggang ngayon eh, wala eh. Pero nakulong siya, masaya ako, nakulong siya. Pero tas ngayon gagawin siyang state witness, hindi siya umaamin sa kung anong kalokohan yung ginawa niya. Ginawa niya. Unlike, buti pa nga yung si Alcantara tsaka yung si Bernardo na ayoko din naman silang state witness. Pero sila, umamin sila, umiyak-iyak pa sila, nag-sorry sila.
Binalik yung Lamborghini.
Binalik yung
Lamborghini.
sa mga kotse tsaka pera na konting porsyento ng
Laki
nakuha nila.
sakripisyo yan, Lamborghini
Ito kay
yan.
Bunuan, we are already talking na parang approved na siya as state witness. Hindi pa siya umaamin ng kahit ano. Wala pa tayong nakikita na ano.
Hindi lang pag-amin restitution.
Yun.
Which is sa akin, bottom line, ganito. Balik mo lahat ng yaman mo. Lahat. Kunin natin lahat. I will leave you kung ano yung sweldo mo, compute natin sa ilang taon, yan lang ibang ko sa'yo. Kung mangyari yon, maybe then. And I'll give you a lesser sentence. Hindi yung wala kang sentensya makukuha. You stole billions. Remember, Alcantara alone admitted going to the casino, gambling 1 billion in one day.
Taxpayers money natin yan.
Pambihira, 1 billion pesos.
Exactly.
I've never even seen a billion pesos.
I can't even imagine
even
what
si
it looks
Senator
like.
Ping, di ba?
Buong room na ito, mapupuno pare.
Sa expose ni Senator Ping sa Senado, he exposed yung meron daw hotel na parang partnership between Bunuan and Bernardo. Yung sinasabi niya MBB. Si Senator Ping nagsabi noon doon sa kanyang speech, diba? So ibig sabihin, meron din sila mga assets na nabili, nagawa, allegedly coming from kung saan mang pera nang galing yun. So kailangan ma-isoli talaga at mabawi at mahila pabalik ng tao. At maibalik
Pero
sa
ano,
akin, maibalik sa honest to goodness flood control projects dun sa mga lugar na affected.
Pero congratulations, nag-upper middle income na tayo sa daming
corrupt.
sa daming nakaw na pumasok, na-inject, umakyat yung bayan.
Richard, ilang percent ng GDP yun? Yung
Feeling ko mga 10% ng GDP natin, flood control lang eh.
Pare, more pa yan.
Kasi
no?
di ba may tinatawag na multiplier effect. Yung napunta sa casino, ginastos sa ganito, ginastos. So over time, nag-multiply yung effect niya. Kaya salamat sa kanila, umangat ang bayan. Angat buhay ang nangyari, umangat. I'm just saying, that's how bad this thing is. In the end, in economic accounting, it actually helped our economy.
No. Let's. I don't
I'm
wanna-
being sarcastic, by the way.
Okay. It did
I'm
not-
being sarcastic, bro.
Yeah, good.
Hindi, kasi yung casino local, di ba?
Yes, pero-
hindi siya foreign
Pero
casino.
ito yung pinakamalaking problema ng nangyayaring corruption, money laundering. This what happens. As soon as they get the money, they launder it through the casino, sabi mo na. And then where does it go?
Lalabas
Outside
yan.
of the
Oh,
Philippines.
yeah.
So yung mga trillion na ninakaw, lumabas na ng bansa yan. Binili na nila yan ng mga bahay, ng mga lupa sa iba't ibang bansa, o cash or gold or whatever. Tapos nawala yan sa pondo ng bayan habang tayo dito ang nagbabayad ng utang na yon. That's the biggest problem I have. If it was at least in the country, then at least kahit paano, it's called productive corruption. It is true, may productive
Di ba,
corruption.
efficient corruption. Yeah.
O efficient corruption versus non-efficient. Kasi yung pag productive yan, within the country, gumagana pa rin at
pambibili nila ng
umiikot.
boto.
Sure, at nakikinabang yung mga tao, then they gumagastos.
Nag-livelihood, nagsisirculate.
Or at least,
Nagsisirculate.
let's say they started a business with it, okay. Pero hindi, kukunin lang yung pera, take it out of the country. Pucha, that's the pinaka nakakabalik.
That's the worst type of like corruption is all evil. Just to be clear,
Yes.
we're not endorsing.
We're not.
But we're just saying of all types of corruption, ito yung least productive at least contributive, diba? So now nakikita mo bakit cynical ako na. Just kidding. Skeptical.
Hindi, that's why, balik na sa usapan ni Boying Remulla. Kaya sa akin, I agree with Mark na at least may ginagawa si Boying Remulla compared to the previous ombudsman. Now,
Which is a very low bar.
yes, it
Like
is.
figurine level bar. Like walang ginawa, zero.
Yeah, not even walang ginawa.
Negative actually.
Yeah.
Tumulong sa masasama.
Intentionally blocked.
Negative 10.
Yeah, it was so
Sorry,
bad.
sorry,
He became an enabler of the corrupt. And yung mga abusadong government officials, yung ombudsman natin, imbes sa protektahan yung konstitusyon. This one, at least now, is doing something. Albeit na kulang pa. But kahit papano, marami na ring mukhang masasampahan pa. And he has to do this before the SONA.
But last point, before you mentioned the SONA, that's exactly gusto kong pumasok on these issues because it was last SONA na umamin si BBM na lahat itong corruption na nangyari. There's no way na in the next SONA, hindi siya pwede magsabi, we held X, Y, and Z accountable na big time. So that's where you can see na there's no way na walang pressure from Malacanang on the ombudsman to be helpful on this issue. In a good way, by the way. But nevertheless, ibig sabihin, may sariling interest yung ating presidente for the ombudsman to deliver. But obviously, as we mentioned, the ombudsman is supposed to be independent at may sarili rin calculations yung tao kasi human being din at the end of the day dahil ang daming in fairness to Boying, ang dami niyang binabangga na malaking tao.
Yes.
From the time na pinadala si Digong sa Hague, di ba? Up to now, ang dami niyang binanggaan. So, we're just also being realistic. Kaya sabi ko, skeptical ako, but I'm not cynical because I understand ito yung limitation ng politics natin. So, I just want to ask Mark you, and of course, Chris, are we expecting the big names, hindi lang yung mga sila curly tops and yung mga ganun. I'm talking about like senators, congressmen, na hindi lang si Jinggoy at Bong Revilla na returnee para natin, multiple entry visa yung mga yan. Are we optimistic na by the time weeks later, di ba, kailan ba yung SONA? End of this month?
End of the month.
End of the month. Are we optimistic na a couple of senators at least will be finally, put behind bars or at least in detention?
Hindi. Before the SONA, hindi.
And then, exactly, then what will that make BBM look? Hindi ba mas lame duck as he enters literally his final year na in office?
Pero ngayon ang pinag-uusapan, 'di ba, may 2 congressman. Yun yung lumalabas sa news eh. So baka ganung level at least nakakulong sila Diskaya, yung mga ilang DPWH, 1 senator. Pero kung panibagong senator baka hindi naaabot sa SONA for flood control. So, ayun. Baka after na lang.
Yun nga eh.
Hindi, para sa akin, ang nakakalungkot lang dito, yun na nga, ang hirap kasi nangangako ka. Tapos nakaka-disappoint. They put up this...
Last September pa
Yeah,
yan,
remember,
bro.
yung pinagmalaki nila tong maximum jail new facility
exactly.
for the corrupt na pakakasya daw ng how many? 300? Tapos ilan nakalagay dun? Wala pa, 2? Ano yan? So yung sa akin, important that they at least jail yung 40 that they were saying, 40 members of Congress. O how many senators? And kung sino-sino pa dapat.
Tsaka cabinet members.
Oh, even
Admin.
yung
Admin.
cabinet members. Ito pa. Mukhang nasasanto ang mga cabinet members. And I'm particularly talking about Amina Pangandaman, who is the budget secretary.
Hindi pwede resign lang.
Oh, at
There
saka
has
si
to be
executive secretary, who his grand-nephew, yung si Adrian Bersamin, was directly implicated on this. So, kailangan talaga maayos at maimbestigahan. And I understand naman din na ang hirap ng trabaho ng ombudsman. Pare, like how big is the ombudsman's office?
Yeah.
And you look at how vast this corruption is, inaamin niya, if I have to file cases against everyone, we don't have enough people. You'll need an army to be able to do that. So, I mean, he is not in an enviable position, Boying Remulla. So, kahit pa paano, I appreciate what he does, but sana he doesn't make pronouncements prior to actually doing it. And he just does it. Yun. Kasi otherwise, man, like, ang hirap talaga to live up to the expectations that he himself sets up, you know?
July na, bro.
Kasi siguro yung expectations coming from do sa SONA last year. BBM, parang ang impression sa atin, buong bansa ang daming problema sa flood control. Lahat ng riyon, pero ang nangyayari naman ngayon, 4 na lugar lang yung may kaso eh. La Union, Bulacan, 1 in Davao, 1 in Mindoro, yun lang eh. So baka hindi naka-communicate din sa tao na and tsaka throughout that whole time, it's been a year na since SONA, yung mga ibang substandard o baka ibang ghost project nga, baka tinapos na yung iba eh. So yun din yung without us knowing, 'di ba, tahimik lang, hindi napapansin sa probinsya na to, baka tinapos na nung so ang hirap na ding habulin. So I think hindi nila na-manage ng maayos yung expectations ng tao. We were expecting na lahat ng region, lahat ng mga engineers diyan may makukulong from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 region gano'n. Pero hindi eh. 4 na lugar lang yung napunterian nila and yun. So hindi nila siguro na-communicate ng maayos yun. Na ito yung inuna namin, ito yung mga and the rest, isusunod namin. Kasi in-expect natin lahat eh.
I think that's a perfect segue kasi mas maraming corruption cases ang pag-usapan natin sa next episode as we get into the trial of Vice President Sara Duterte sa Senado. So this is the Piatos 2.0 episode. Pag-usapan natin yan soon sa ating Quadcom minus Falsys. Pinuli pa natin siya. Okay, good. Next na tayo.